At 28 years old, Mariska Beijer has led the Netherlands women's wheelchair basketball team to 2 bronze performances, and she's also now taken her team to the top of the podium, winning gold in Tokyo. Welcome, Mariska.
Thank you.
Hey, I'd like to start off by saying that while I was doing some research on you, I was IMing back and forth with Darlene Hunter, co-captain of the U.S. basketball team, and it was a fairly amusing exchange. But she was telling me some pretty good things about you. She said Mars, I guess, which is your nickname, is the sweetest person off the court. But once you enter between the lines, it's all business. Is that pretty safe to say?
Yeah, that's me. Yeah. I mean, my nickname on the court is also the Beast. So, and outside the court, I'm more like a cuddle bear.
Yeah, I wasn't so sure if you love the nickname the Beast, but I could tell.
I do have a tattooed on my shoulder, so.
Oh, so you have embraced it. That's good. You know, it's really funny because Darlene and we just caught each other at night. We were going back and forth about a couple of things, and she just said some things about you that were, pretty unbelievable. She said that when you come down the court, that when your chair is going at full sprint, you sound like a freight train. So, yeah, amazing.
I think that's pretty terrifying for the opponents. For me, it's kind of reassuring. Like I just have all the power just thrown in my chair and I just get from A to B. And if somebody's in the way, it's their problem and not my problem.
It's amazing to me when you look at the demographics, Mariska, of your country. It's not like you have this pool, this talent pool that's just endless. And more or less what I found is that you have roughly 22 players that have been together in a cohesive manner for a long time. So talk about...
It's actually less, to be honest. It's more like 16.
Okay, talk about the talent pool, how you kept that group together, and how you rose to the podium in the number one spot in the world.
I think the main journey started actually in 2011, so the year before London Paralympic Games. That's when we got a new head coach with Gertje van der Linden and assistant coach Irene Sloof. And they really started this process to professionalize our sports in the Netherlands. They started out with a full-time training program at Papendal, the Olympic Training Center. And they gave you the opportunity to actually train every single day with the same group of people. I started out full-time in 2010 in Arnhem. And just having that experience to go professional and have the backup from Team Netherlands and the national organization, that we have income by it and just be able to fully focus on the sport and just train every day with the same group of girls and even together with the men's team. That's really major to improve your game and also to make one cohesive team.
In the pictures I've seen of you, and I've not really got to see you play all that much, but you have a very imposing size about you. So I could realize right off the bat that you must be awesome inside the key. When that ball is bouncing around, you've got to be right there on the rebounds and getting the ball back up. But
the little fader on the baseline.
There you go. But it seems to me like also you've worked a whole lot on your outside game. So talk about that outside game and what that's done to open up the inside game for the other players.
I think the major threat of our team is we have 5 players on court at all time that can score. If the opponent stops me for going inside or be like close to the key, that also means that our shooters are open on the outside. And we are really consistent with that balance of attacking offensively inside and outside. I think that's for most teams really hard to defend. For my game personally, I had to improve on my outside game because I play in the Bundesliga in Germany, which is a really tough men's league. And there I'm not the biggest one on court, or I'm not even a medium-sized center. I'm a small-sized center there. So there I took more of the role of like a power forward, shooting guard. So of course then I had to improve my outside shooting game as well. It kind of flows into that.
You know, and I think that's pretty interesting and ironic. You know, what I learned about you and what I read in an article was that because men play physically harder, this came from you, that it caused you to be a more calm player. Explain that dynamic. Like, you know, becoming a calm player, how has that improved your game? And, you know, I can understand playing with the men. Now you're playing with bigger, faster, you know, human
Stronger.
beings. So how did that affect your game, and how did that make you better?
I mean, I really have to use my brain going up against those men because I cannot physically out basketball them. But if I use my game or really use my fakes and actually use everything I can do, then I can get past them. But I really have to use my smarts, and I just rely on that I'm quick and fast. That's the major difference. And in the women's league or with the national team, I kind of know I'm one of the fastest players on court. I'm one of the strongest players on court. So if I have a position versus another player, I know I can always outpush them or just kind of push them out of the way. In the men's league, they push me away if I don't have the right position.
So you're playing ball globally now, and I know you've been stateside. I saw a picture of you playing at Whitewater in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
What significant or even subtle differences do you see between the style of ball that's played in Europe and the style of ball that's played in the United States?
Oh, that's tough. Also, it's different. Like in the US, in college, I played in a women's league. That was my first women's league I ever played in. So that's really a hard comparison compared to playing in a men's or mixed league. So that comparison is really hard. But I would definitely say in the German league, it's really physical. Like the amount of chair contact is amazing, amazingly awesome.
So would you say then, I mean, you know, I'm just kind of taking this from what you're saying. Would you say in the United States, they're based more around finesse than they are physicality?
Yeah, I would say in the US, you can also see that with the national team, it's more like swing the ball till there's an open shot and not necessarily going for the hard picks and then get a player inside. That's a major difference, I would say.
So let's talk a little bit about, you know, I just want to talk a little bit about the Paralympics. I find it ironic that you went to go play with Germany on this mixed squad because Germany took care of the Netherlands both in 2012 and then again in 2016 in Rio.
Yeah.
So
Rio one was very painful.
I can only, it was a very close game and they took you down. How do you guys come back then 20 years later and overcome that? What were the adjustments that were made? Did you guys do anything specifically to ensure that Germany was not going to get in the way this time?
I think we had we were playing that game mentally different, or even the entire Paralympic Games we played mentally different. In Rio, we were really focused onto like, we're gonna win gold. Everywhere we went, we were proclaiming we're going for gold. Bring that gold home, and then you get butched in the semifinal and just kind of burst your dream about that. The road to Tokyo, we did it way different. We were like, we're gonna play our best and win every game. And of course, when you win every game, you win gold. But that's not necessarily the statement we made. We were just gonna play every game to win. And if that's gold, that's gold. And if not, then, well, it still sucks. But
yeah,
I think that's just a different mindset. It's just like when you're shooting the ball, like I have to make the shot, you're probably going to miss it. But if you're shooting the ball, I'm just shooting the ball, then you're probably going to make it.
Undoubtedly. Sometimes you have to get out of your head in order to be successful. And
of course, in the last 4 tournaments before the Paralympics is now the last 3 tournaments. So Euros, World, and Euros, we won every end tournament. So that also gives us some boosted morality in the team. Like we have the big target on our back, and we just have to play as us and not really worry about the opponent.
Well, it seems pretty obvious to me. I read also that when you do some speaking to groups, that one of the things that you like to say is that you succeed by making mistakes. Do you think that that also could have been a contributor to getting over the hump and finally getting that gold medal?
Oh yeah, definitely. Embrace your mistakes. Like even in Tokyo, we lost in the prelims against China. That's the only game we lost at the games. But we also knew the next time we play them, we're gonna win because of these mistakes we made, and we're not gonna repeat those mistakes.
Well, Mariska Beijer, you plan to play again in 2024 Paris and then in LA 2028. And then after that, we'll see. But great job.
2028 is going to be my last basketball game ever.
That's it. Well,
now, with the national team at least.
You've got your gold medal. You have a gold medal now. So, hey, congratulations. You've been a phenomenal athlete, and I look forward to seeing these next two Paralympics. And thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. And thank you for having me as well.